Evening, folks. We are back. We're going to be doing another live stream of the Scottish Gaelic Tattoo Handbook app. So let me give you a refresher about where we left off last time. Now, we had been working on this application right here. And let me pull up some of our mock-ups so you can see what we're going to be working on tonight. So we got this screen. Let me see if I can pull up our simulator so you can see some of our beautiful screens. We've done all this work so far. Now I'm looking at a simulator of a little bit bigger iPhone than I'm seeing on my mock-ups here on the left and my simulator on the right. But today what we're going to be working on is you can go over to this browse thing, and we can do it too. And place an identity is supposed to send us over to this list view. And right now place identity doesn't do anything. Ooh, it went back to the detail screen. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this do that. We're going to make this this button on our collection view go to that list view. So the first thing that I want to do is I am going to create a list view controller for this. And so the way that I'm going to do that, I'm actually going to want a list view with a search bar at the top. So I'm going to make a view controller and I'm going to put a list view in it, and then I'm also going to put a search bar in it. Now, there are a couple different ways I could do this. I'm going to try this fast way today, and sometimes this kind of thing works for me and sometimes it super doesn't. But what I've done here is I have effectively literally copied and pasted, as in Command-C, Command-V, this view controller right here. And I actually can't find it, so I think I might have to do that again. Oh no, we got a browse scene and we got another browse scene. So that's that one. And then we got another one, so there are multiple. Waha! Waha! Look at that! Just made it right directly on top of our thing there. Alright, so we got this going on, yeah? And we're actually going to remove this phrases and clans thing. So now we just have the search bar and then this UI view right here, which we're actually going to replace with a list view. Or rather, what is it called? Table view. I don't know why I thought it was called a list view. I'm writing a lot of Android lately. That's probably why. Table view. Okay, so you see that? We got that. I'm going to take this off. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my table view on there. So here we go. I'm going to drag my table view on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to size it up right here. And I'm going to do this real basic. There we go. So now I've got my sort of basic list view looking thing, and I'm going to do its trailing space to the safe area. I'm going to do its leading space to the safe area. And then what I'm doing here is I'm holding down the control key and then clicking and dragging. So then what I'm going to do is come up to this search bar and I'm going to do its top space to the safe area. And then I'm going to do this vertical spacing between my search bar and my table view. Now ultimately, we're probably going to want a little bit more space there, but we can always change that constraint later. So the final thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to come over to my gorgeous, oh my god, how many of these do I have? I just want one extra. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this here browse view controller, I'm going to give it a segue over to this. And so I'm going to want to name this view controller. It's not going to be browse view controller. So we're going to make another one, and we are going to call this one, let's call it phrase list view controller. Phrase list view controller. Now before I do that, I want to say something about what we're going to be doing here. So this phrase thing, it goes to this table view, and then for clans, well actually no, we're not going to have to put a second one in for clans. So it's just going to be phrases. Great. Okay, so this is going to be a phrase list view controller because we don't have to make it generalized for clans too, because clans doesn't have a list one, which is what I was kind of thinking might happen. Okay, so anyways, We are going to call this a phrase list view controller. And so in order to do that, I am gonna whip out my handy dandy view controllers thing here, and I'm going to say I want to make a new one, okay? And I am going to, can I just, kind of didn't think that was going to work, but I thought I'd give it a try. There might be a way to have it give me the view controller portion, but that's okay. Phrase list view controller. So phrase list view controller, is that spelled right? Sure is. Popping that right into view controllers right here. What you'll see is that there's not a whole lot there. We've got our phrase category view controller. So maybe we should have called this phrase category list view controller. But I'm not going to for right now. I'm just going to do this. So what we're going to do is go over here, and we don't need foundation. We are going to import UI kit because we're going to need that eventually, and then we're going to do phrase list view controller, and that extends view control UI view controller. That's the one. Great. So now we've got our phrase list view controller. Doesn't do anything yet. Totally cool. Because what we're going to do is we're going to come back over to our storyboard here. Yeah, and we're going to give it a name. So this except, now if it auto-completes, that tells me everything set up properly. Phrase list view controller. Bam! Alright, so now here's what we need to do. We need to make this screen wider because my eyeballs aren't what they once were. There we go. Okay. So now I am going to control drag from my browse view controller to my phrase list view controller. I'm going to make a manual segue right here. And so the segue that I'm going to use is going to be the show segue. Now this is a little bit confusing looking. It's doing this. Now I know that this configuration looks odd, right? Why does this view controller point to this collection that we're going to be having go to this other list view instead of having the collection do it? Let me think about that for a second while I drink some tea. So here's why. This thing here, it's a UI collection view cell. Okay? It's a collection view cell, which is great. We love collection view cells. It's called a category cell. That's the particular subclass of UI collection view cell that it is. However, it's not a view controller, which means it does not have control over lifecycle methods. And one of the things that it cannot do is perform segues. So what we have to do is perform a segue from its parent view controller, which is what we're going to be doing here. So we've got this segue right here. It doesn't have a name yet. So let's give it a name, provided I can figure out how to do that. Okay, here we go. So I got this. Oh, I see. I've like selected a whole bunch of stuff here. Segue actions, instantiation. I want to name my segue, but I'm not seeing the thingy to do that right away. Oh, here we go. Storyboard segue, identifier. So let's call this show phrase category list segue. Show phrase category list segue. I like to check these kinds of things because in iOS the segue names are stringly typed, meaning that we need to use this exact string somewhere in order to make things work, which is not the most robust design in the world, but that's what we're going to do. So it's show phrase category list segue. Cool. All right. So now we got that segue on there, but we got to trigger that segue, right? We got to trigger that from our UI collection view controller, our phrase. What do we call this thing? It's like something cell, category cell. That's what it's called, category cell. Yeah. So let's go over to category cell. what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that over to the right of this. The way I'm going to do that is with Option Enter. Bam. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut. I got to shut something again. I cannot see, y'all. Ooh, whoa. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Come back. Let's shut this one over here. I don't need all this crap all the time. Anyway, y'all. Alright, so I got my cell selected. Oh. You know what? I'm actually going to go from this thing right here because I want to make sure that I get the right item. And it's telling me it can't put it in there. Why? Maybe I can go the other way. Does it have to be weak? Let's take a look at this documentation that I pulled up. Well, or rather. Alright, so it looks I mean, we should be able to get an IB action in there, though, right? Now, does this thing have those IB outlets on it? One has to assume. Because here's the background image and the category label, yeah? Maybe I have to do it on the content view itself? Let's try that. Ooh, it likes it. It likes it. Oh, but it'll only give me an outlet or an outlet collection. It won't give me an IB action. Why? Let's try going the other direction. Alright, so let's take a look at this code over here. We're going to do something very similar to this. And it's going to be... Whoa! Okay, I don't want this. Oh, I don't want any of this! Oh my god! Alright, we're not doing that again. Just this part. Alright, so it's not on add to cart press, right? We are instead doing on phrase. On phrase category pressed. I'm going to say visit phrase category. And we're going to do this variable right here, which contains a closure, which is this definition of effectively an anonymous function that's going to take in nothing and output nothing. So let's make that. And we'll do it up here. And that's going to be, drum roll everybody, it's going to be named Visit Phrase Category. Visit Phrase Category. And now Swift is happy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to control drag from here to here. Let's look this up. IB action not connecting. UI collection view cell. I may need to just restart Xcode. That's not unusual. Let me do that. Let me restart Xcode. Stop all the tasks, restart Xcode, see if we can try this again. All right, so why won't it let me? This is disconcerting. I wonder if I can do it from the thing here. Interesting. Well, let me look this up, actually. Why can I only add outlet or outlet? Collection 2, and this is a UI collection view, so. I don't have a lot of faith here. This looks like a different thing. Let's do this. What does it say? Alright. How to add UI button action to collection views. I mean, theoretically, we know how to do this, but okay. Create an outlet of your UI button. There's no way this is necessary. Oh, do I need to enable user interaction for UI collection view cell? I have a funny feeling I do. I bet I do have to do that. Watch this. Watch this! Oh my god. Hello, Xcode, help me out here. Inherit. Well, user interaction is enabled. User interaction is already enabled on this category, so that's not what it is. No. I have to make a delegate for it? That can't be. So here's a UI collection view cell that has an IB action on it. That's fine. I wonder if I can. Because I feel like a second ago that was working, and now even that's not working. No. You know what we could try? So these are all the constraints. Referencing outlets. Categories, collection view. Phrase category view controller. So it thinks I'm talking about the categories collection view, and I'm not. I'm talking about the categories cell. Can I just choose on phrase category pressed? Because the background image has got an outlet, the background view's got an outlet. I would like that to work. Let me make sure I'm not missing something basic here. So I've got this category cell. It's a UI collection view cell. It's got a reuse identifier. It's got a couple outlets. I have so many beverage containers, and only one of them has any actual beverage in it. Let me try this. Connect IV action to UI collection view cell. Storyboard can only work for static content. Instead, what you need to do is set your collection view's delegate property to an object that implements the UI collection view delegate protocol, which I'm pretty sure we do. Let's just check that. So we've got categories, collection view, delegate, and data source with themselves. I wonder if this needs to be so we set the delegate and the data source. Let's try this. See if we get any complaints there, because we should. Oh gosh, show me the complaint, please. Redundant conformance. Ah, because we have extensions. It has been a minute since Chelsea Troy worked on this application, hasn't it? All right, because then we implement data source down here. We implement delegate right there. So that's that collection view delegate. So now, One of the methods defined as part of the protocol is the collection view did select item at method. This method will get called whenever each user selects a collection view cell with the index path to that cell as the argument. You can update your variable from that method. Just remember to deselect the cell. Huh. Interesting. Well, let's find did select item at. Does anybody see it? Here it is. And then we can do let cell index. And we will need that because we got these categories up here and we can get it that way. So watch this. Let category equal categories. And that's going to be self dot categories at the index paths row. We didn't use it, but that's fine. So theoretically, that'll work. And then what we can do is go over to our category cell and potentially maybe even get rid of this, because we've already got our category over there. So now we've got our phrase category view controller. And from there, we can do our segue. So there's going to be perform segue with identifier, and then here's where we put that string in. Show phrase category list segue. Like that. And the sender will be self. All right, well, let's see what that does. Okay. So something's weird right now because there's only 3 tabs down here. When I click place an identity, I don't think anything's happening. So let's do this. Let's do this. Because we're currently in phrase category view controller. So here's what I'm going to say. Print category selected. Okay. Let's try all this again. I'm actually going to shut this down. What may have happened is I may have messed something up during that copy paste. So let's actually redo all that. And here's how we're going to do that. Do as I say, not as I do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this and I'm going to stash. All right. So that theoretically will have undone all the changes we made. That's okay. Let's run the app and make sure everything works. Any second now. Alright, well at least I got all my beautiful categories back. And then I got my place and identity thing here. So what I'm going to go do is go to the phrase category view controller and add that back in. And I'm not even going to worry about this yet. Okay? So now what I want to do is I want to make sure that my clickety clicking is working. Because what we do is we establish the delegate and data source here. And then this is our collection view. So now I'm tapping it. I'm not actually seeing anything down here. Let's try this. Not here. I have to find the place and try and actually do this. Okay. So now we're doing that. I'm just looking this over again. We got our phrase category service, our categories collection view. Okay. I think that should work. Doesn't look like anything's happening now. So clearly something's off with this implementation. That surprises me. It seemed pretty straightforward. Now it looks like I just have one thingy here. That's not what I want. I want to do this one. What is this thing? Let me just shut some stuff over here and get back to it. Okay. So I got my delegate. Let me actually also restart this and see if that helps. Oh, there we go. Now it's pissed about something. Okay, what's going on? Oh, these are constraint warnings. What's it saying? I wonder if it just did that because I quit. these, I think, don't work everything. We will need to put a weight cursor in there because that's confusing, but those don't show up for a minute. Yeah, this is not doing anything. I'm quite certain. Well, let's try this. Okay. Delegates registered. Is user interaction enabled with UI collection view and UI collection view cell? Let me make sure that's true. Because it might not be. Looking for user interaction enabled. Oh yeah, there it is. User interaction enabled, and then on the category cell also user interaction enabled. Yep. Is allows selection of UI collection view is true. Is allows selection. Show horizontal, show vertical, scrolling enabled, paging enabled, direction lock enabled. I'm looking for is allow selection. I don't think that that's. Here's the delegate. This can happen if you have a gesture recognizer in your custom cell. This will override the did select item at delegate over collection view. I don't think we have that, but we can check. I think it's called category cell. Yeah, we don't have a gesture recognizer in here. I don't think that's the issue. Use user interaction could be false on my view itself or its parents. There's a content view over my cell. Which had user interactive enabled. I wonder if that's our issue. This content view. I wonder if that was in fact it. What do you think? Watch it have been that. From a tiny comment on Stack Overflow. Look at all these windows we have open. It would be impossible to have more windows open. Whoa. Oh shit! Y'all! Oh, this one right here for the win. Remember that forever. If your delegate selection code is not working and there's no obvious reason why not, the problem may be, as it was for us just now, that we have this cell that dutifully has user interaction enabled, but then there's this content view on it for which user interaction has to be disabled, evidently. I imagine, or else it overrides what's expected here. Now we've got this debug, this breakpoint that I want to play past. Play past it. All right, fine. You want to do this the hard way? We'll do this the hard way. How about that, chickadees? This is really what it's like every day of your life as a software engineer. I hope this looks appealing. Is something happening now? Are my things getting printed out? Am I in the debug window? What is going on? Hide the debug area. Show the debug area. Is stuff getting printed out of here? Because it sure doesn't seem like it. Woo! I'm not seeing it. But it does seem like we're getting in there now. Why the hell is this happening? Print statements not showing up. Xcode. What do these print statements look like? Okay. Hover over the view in the top menu in Xcode. Hover to view in the top menu in Xcode. I'm in Chrome. Hover in view. Are you kidding? All right, that's a new one on me, folks, but that's another thing we're learning tonight. So if you go to view here, if your print statements aren't working, you go to view here, and then you go to debug area, and then you hit activate console. Apparently, this can be deactivated. I wonder if this is an Xcode 12 thing, or if I've just been oblivious the whole time. Why would you want your print statements to not show up? Y'all, computers enrage me on a daily basis. I did not pick the right career. All right, look, there it is. Our beautiful print statement view will appear, as well as all of our great, look at that, family, in memoriam, religious and spiritual, courage, honor, and military. Whoa, 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 whoa. Our thing works. That's really exciting. So now we're going to go and try to make our view controller again, which we already did once, but we had to undo everything. Okay, view controller. Here it is. And we're going to take our doohickey here and move it up. And then we're going to come over here. We're going to go to our view controllers, and we're going to add a new view controller, just like we did before. We are going to call this phrase category list view controller. Let's call it phrase options list view controller. Phrase options list view controller. Don't need this foundation, but we do need UI kit. And we're going to do class phrase vars phrase options list view controller UI view controller. Thank you. X code. We got it. Now we're going to flip back over to main.storyboard, and we are going to give this thing that as its class. Cool. Phrase options list view controller. And there you have it, folks, our phrase options list view controller. Let's just make sure it's in there. This little window is making it a little tough for me to tell. There it is, phrase options list view controller. At which point we are going to come over here, control, grade. And we're going to call this a show segue, and we're going to call it the show phrase. I'm going to say show phrase options list segue. So that's going to be, I have to find it again. That sucker right there. Clicky. Identifier. Show phrase options. List segue. Show phrase options. List segue. Let's change our little notebook here to say show phrase options. Pardon me. List segue. Show phrase options. List segue. Great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put a text on there, and it's going to be label. Let's go Command Option L to get our library up and do label. We're just going to certificate it right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open up our phrase options list view controller. We're going to open it over here on the right. And then I'm going to go over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give that a bigger font size. And then I am going to ask to center it. Let me make it a little bigger. Go to the constraints thing on the bottom here. Center it horizontally and vertically in the container. And now I'm going to come over. I'm going to get rid of some of these menus that I don't need. Yeah. And then we're going to do func view did load. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this. We're going to give it an outlet right here. We're going to call that outlet phrase title. There we go. Perfect. And let's do also here. Yeah. And let's actually do this. Because this class doesn't have an initializer, we can't have our string there, but if we force unwrap it, it should be fine. I think. You control other things have this, right? Yeah. Oh, you know what the problem is? It's it can't be a let because we have to be able to change it. Hello, Chelsea Troy. Welcome to software development. I would really like this to be an optional. There we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go over to our phrase category view controller where we have our delegate down here. We're going to do this. However, what we are going to do is say we have to get the destination view controller. And the way we're going to do that is by Googling. And perform this segue. Fine, well, I guess we'll put this in here, huh? Because this is where we're going to want to do it. Prepare for segue. And then we're going to say if segue.identifier equals, I'm going to need this 85 times. Show phrase options list segue. We might pull that out into a variable. Yeah. But destination equal segue destination as, we're just going to pretend we're sure, phrase options list view controller. We are in fact sure because here we are on the storyboard and that's the only place that this segue goes to. So, okay. So, destination dot phrase is going to equal self tapped phrase. And we're going to come up here and say var tapped phrase. And we're just going to set it to an empty string at the moment. And then right here, we're going to say self.tapped phrase equals what are we calling it? Phrase. We probably should call it category, huh? Let's rename that. Can we rename it? Yeah. Come on, baby, you can do it. Bam! Let's also rename that one. Refactor, rename. This one's going to be a category also. Come on, baby. There we go. I like tapped category. There we go. Tapped category. So then what we're going to do finally is perform our segue in here. So let's see if we end up getting taken, in fact, to this screen. Build failed due to a build failure. Oh, hello, Chelsea Troy. Now we need to do self.phrase title.text equals category. There we go. Let's try running it. Now all we're doing here is making sure that our data is getting passed through appropriately because we're going to need that stuff later because we're going to make an HTTP call with it in our next stream, provided I can code properly. All right. So now we wait for this to load up. Click on phrase and identity, place and identity, I mean. Ooh, hates us. What's wrong? Receiver has no segue. Show phrase category list segue. You know what I did? I commented in that damn code and didn't change this. to this thing I have on the notebook. This is why stringly typed stuff is bad. Don't build frameworks like this. Show phrase options list segue. Butter my butt and call me a biscuit. All right, let's try this again. Also, read the error messages, kids. That could have been very hard to find, except that the error message literally told us what the problem was. Now the internet watches while Chelsea chokes on her tea. Nope. Receiver has no segue. Really? Where is phrase category list view control? Here. Great, let's go to main.storyboard and investigate. Have we been putting this in the wrong view controller? Let's get rid of this. And this is called the browse view controller. This is the phrase category view controller. What if I do this? Let's really zoom in on this because I want to be clear what's happening now. So I got this sucker and I got this sucker. Everybody gets to be a sucker once I'm mad. We're going to make a thing here. A segue. It's called a segue. And we're going to name it show phrase options list segue. All right, let's give that a go. Still mad. Has no segue with identifier. Let's go look. Well, it's got phrase options list view controller. And that's coming from the phrase category view controller. This segue is called show phrase options list segue. When I go to phrase category view controller, I don't think either of those changed to the internet. Receiver has no segue with identifier. I'm going to actually go to tools and say I want something within the past year. Just clean it. You can try it. This looks suspect. Due to having no text on it whatsoever. Trying to segue between two view controllers. This is an Objective-C. Hopefully that wasn't it. Hopefully that was it. I don't even know what I want anymore. I can't believe cleaning worked. Y'all. I don't even know what to say to that. So let's actually come down here and do some things to this label. So the first thing is, I'm pretty sure I put constraints on that to center it vertically and horizontally. Maybe I didn't hit add constraints. And I want let's make it a little wider. But actually, we're also going to set lines to 0, which is going to enable word wrapping paradoxically. So I just want you to be able to see for yourself, although I have faith. That this did work. Place and identity. How about that? We are going to change this segue type now. From show Because currently it's showing up as a modal. Well, maybe that's okay. Okay. I think we'll call it a day here. And then next time what we'll do is implement this actual list. Sound like a plan? Yeah, I think so. All right. Good work, folks. I will see you all later.